you can't expect to be at your peak performance, to be your most vital, vibrant, healthy self, to even heal physically, mentally, emotionally, if you have constantly around you bombardment of criticism, internal, external, not feeling safe, weeks, months, for some of you, even years, decades. So what I've learned over the 15 plus years as a coach is that our environment does create a huge influence on our well-being, on our performance, on our satisfaction, on our health. It is not normal to fall asleep and wake up with trepidations, with anxiety, with worry. It is not normal. It's not supposed to be long-lasting. And I know there's so many that are waking up like that. I was included. And so when I talk about environment, it's not just where we live, also important. When your home is a place where you feel safe and you make it your sacred space, it will help. But our environment is also the conversations you have every day, even with yourself. Your beliefs, limiting beliefs especially, influence our health. Expectations placed on you, you take it over and you carry it as your own. The stories you tell yourself about yourself towards others, again, be very cautious about your language. And just a lot of stress that we carry. And again, I said, we call it normal. So, and I've also seen it in my own life, in relationships, even in partnerships, career, where being a formerly strongest woman, I'm a former champion in kickboxing, Olympic weightlifting, powerlifting. I lifted the most amount of weights of any woman in any weight category and broke records. Hopefully someone broke them in the meantime. But I thought, I gotta be stronger. But you know what actually I had to learn? I had to learn to give up. I had to learn to be okay with failing to change the environment, failing to change the person or the people, and to give up. And sometimes it is so freeing because, again, as a formerly professional athlete, and I know a lot of you in any area of your life, it is almost like this stigma, the shame of giving up and, I'm a failure. But you know what? Sometimes being the failure and giving up is what is going to set you free and help you survive and thrive. And also, look at the words, giving up. So giving up to a higher power and whatever is honorable to you, to God, to universe, to this amazing intelligence that grows trees, that makes birds sing and have the instinct to fly across oceans for the first time in their life. So remember that if you're constantly exhausted, if you feel stuck, if you're doing great, because I experienced in my life, I can have suffering and unhappiness in my life, and equally I can have success. So I had war and low self-esteem in my life and an eating disorder, but I also was a champion kickboxer. I was a host on a radio show. I was doing well at school. So one doesn't exclude the other, right? Ideally, in a wonderful, perfect world, is we don't have that suffering and we learn through, small punches into our gut and our heart. So ask yourself, do I really find it normal that I'm waking up with these emotions, that I'm tiptoeing around situations, people, and look at ways of becoming your supporter. Like I said, our thoughts are also that internal environment. And are you nice to yourself? Be nice to yourself, because here's the truth. Nobody can hear what's going on in your mind. So might as well make it a nice place to be. So if you feel like, yeah, this is what's happening in my life, let me know what's coming up for you. What environments have you outgrown? In what environment are you still trying to change, hoping that things will get better and then you can relax? So I'd love to hear your experience. I'd love to hear what has worked for you. And also, what are you committed to? What are you committed to environment related to change, to acknowledge, to see as truth, and to act upon? Talk soon.